going to talk about the period when Mr. Horst was jailed and the process, who was involved. Bearing in mind that Mr. Horst was got approval by a restriction, height restriction put on the building in question, which started this off, and that was approved by Fremantle Council.
Well, it was prepared by the surveyor.
Yeah.
It was then sent to State Planning Commission.
Yeah.
They approved it. It was then sent to the Fremantle Council.
They approved it?
It was, yes. It was then sent to Landgate, Dola.
And that was approved?
Well, they gave me a number.
Okay, so...
And you get a number upon registration.
So, in regards to the front property, the
back property.
Oh, well, it's in terms of the
This
front
is
of
the front,
you, there's
that's
the
the back.
ocean. Yeah, but it's in front of your ocean view. So, that height restriction had been specified by in those documents?
By all the authorities.
Before the building? Before the building
Before
started?
they started building.
Before they started building.
Before there was a contract.
Yep.
And the strata plan has a period of 2 years. The other party put a clause in the contract asking for an extension of that same strata plan.
Mm.
So they had a 4-year strata plan. Originally it was taken out in '87 and it expired 4 years after that.
But the original restriction on the height of that building was approved by government authorities.
Yeah, everybody.
So, okay.
They all had a copy.
Alright, now that's why Mr. Horst would not hand over this title document. And
well, the reason for it is that the building doesn't conform with planning approval.
Yeah.
And the building does not conform with the strata plan height restriction because they dumped 25 truckloads of sand on the property. So the building went 650 mil over the height restriction.
So they didn't comply with it, and then it wasn't regulated properly anyway by whoever was.
Well, the building inspector didn't do his job.
Yeah, the building inspector.
And Nino Monaco.
So, and the council, knowing full well that this property was only supposed to go to a certain height.
That's right. Gave permission for the illegal sand fill.
Gave them permission to do it. Okay, so this is court in the District Court, 13th of January 1995, and the judge is Sadler, S-A-D-L-E-I-R, and the prosecuting lawyer is R.J.L. McCormick, and the prosecuting person is...
Eilert.
Oh, sorry, Eilert. How do you spell that? I-L...
Eilert.
E-T. Bruce Eilert. He's now living in the United Kingdom because he's absconded. And also he conspired with another person to take Mr. Horst's property off him, in which he was prosecuted for that.
Yeah, they tried to jail me for a second time.
Yeah, because Mr. Iblett tried to work
Eilert.
Mr. Eilert worked with another man to try and jail Mr. Horst for a second time. So, but he didn't get away with that. And the Mr. Horst was there. Now, this had already gone before Judge Kennedy because the prosecuting lawyer, well, first of all, the judge says, yes, well, Mr. Horst had better come up to the bar table. Now, the way that this judge treated Mr. Horst is disgusting. And the way the people involved in this have treated Mr. Horst is absolutely disgraceful in the court, and this transcript proves it. Well, Mr. Horst had better come up to the bar table. Very well. Yes, Mr. McCormick, that's the prosecuting lawyer. But please, Your Honour, this is a matter brought before the court in conjunction with the Sheriff pursuant to a writ of attachment seeking to give effect to the committal to prison order by Your Honour's sister Judge Kennedy. Yes, I looked through the papers. This is the Judge Sadler. It seems on the 21st of December, this is the 13th of January 1995, so the 21st of December 1994 was last year that Her Honour ordered that the defendant, Mr. Horst, be committed to prison unless he produced a duplicate certificate of title at the titles office at Midland by 4th of January. So, threatening to jail him over a document. That did not occur because Mr. de Horst did not hand over the document. And evidence has been placed before the court which was dealt with by Your Honour's brother Judge Clark, and hence the bench warrant for the arrest of Mr. de Horst was duly issued, and I hold a copy of the order signed by Judge Clark on the 5th of January. So Judge Kennedy didn't want to jail you before Christmas, did she? No, she gave you to the 4th of January to produce this document, and you didn't comply because it's an illegal building.
Well, my lawyers told me I didn't have to surrender the title because the building does not conform with planning approval and the strata plan.
So he paid tens of thousands of dollars to lawyers who told him not to surrender the document, and they jailed him for it. So this other judge gave to the 5th of January. So in total there has been the appearance initially before Judge Gunning on the 19th of December, where Judge Gunning directed the matter to be returned as a matter of urgency, and that was done before Judge Kennedy on the 21st of December. It was followed then by the expiration of the relevant period as ordered by Judge Kennedy, and evidence of non-compliance to the Department of Land Administration recording no delivery of the title following by the application to the court in the manner through the ex parte application leading to the writ of attachment to the Sheriff dated 5th of January in accordance with Judge Clark's order. And those matters lie with no further compliance or respectfully request court to give effect to the committal to prison order forthwith. And then the judge said the transcript of 13th of January 1995. This is the day that Mr. de Horst was jailed, incarcerated. The judge is Sadler, S-A-D-L-E-I-R. And the way that these judges treated Mr. Horst was absolutely disgusting. Their evidence of what they've said to him is disgraceful. Mr. McCormack is the legal representative for the prosecution.
For Islet.
And the first judge to order Mr. de Horst to jail for not handing over a document,
Judge Kennedy,
which was protecting his view, is Judge Kennedy. And McCormack, the lawyer, says, "If it please Your Honour, this is a matter brought before the court in conjunction with the Sheriff pursuant to a writ of attachment seeking to give effect to the committal to prison ordered by Your Honour's sister, Judge Kennedy." Yes, I looked through the papers. It seems on the 21st of December 1994, because this hearing is the 13th of January 1995. So 21st of December 1994, it was last year that Her Honour ordered that the defendant, Mr. de Horst, be committed to prison unless he produced the duplicate certificate of title at the titles office at Midland by the 4th of January. So she didn't want to jail him before Christmas, obviously. That did not occur, Your Honour, and evidence has been placed before the court which was dealt with by Your Honour's brother, Judge Clark, and hence the bench warrant for the arrest of Mr. de Horst was duly issued, and I hold a copy of the order signed by His Honour 5th of January 1995. So in total, there has been the appearance initially before Judge Gunning on the 19th of December, where Judge Gunning directed the matter to be returned to as a matter of urgency, and that was done before Judge Kennedy on the 21st of December. So there's 4 judges there already involved.
That's right.
There's first of all Judge Gunning, then before
Clark,
Judge Kennedy on the 21st of December, then before Judge Clark on the 5th of January, and this one is before Judge Sadler, S-A-D-L-E-I-R, on the 13th of January 1995. So they were in a hurry to jail Mr. de Horst when the government themselves are at fault. The council's at fault because we're going to show footage of this view. This building is illegal. It is blocking Mr. de Horst's view, devalued his property, and they lied through their teeth about this building in the front here. After they'd given approval for it to be at a restricted height, which would not block Mr. de Horst's view, and the height restriction was authorised by government authorities, the documents, and they let it go. They let it go ahead regardless, and then they lied through their teeth.
Well, they allowed them to put 25 truckloads of sand on there, knowing full well that there was a strata height restriction.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So they allowed that. In accordance with Judge Clark's order, that where matters lie with no further compliance, we respectfully request this honourable court to give effect to the committal to prison order forthwith. Yes. You would move that Mr. Hort be committed to prison for a period, ? That's Sattler, the judge. And the lawyer, prosecuting lawyer, until such time as the document is produced. The relevant principle that Mr. Horst, to use the words of the prime authority, holds the key to his own release. Judge Sattler saying, apart from any question of punishment for contempt, or indeed an indeterminate order for committal to prison until the duplicate certificate of title is provided, the court could order the registrar to effect necessary registration without the need for a duplicate certificate of title, could he not? This is the judge asking the lawyer. So they're already talking about transferring it. And then the lawyer talks about the order of Judge Chambers. This matter has, of course, been to the full court of the Supreme Court. And then the judges, I just wonder whether there is some other means, as I say, I'm putting aside the question of punishment for contempt, but looking at the particulars as to whether really the duplicate certificate of title is essential, or whether the court's order can be so framed to obviate the need for it. And the lawyer says, yes, I'm instructed and I submit that on this occasion there is no alternative. The matter in the sense of the orders is very clear from the full court of the Supreme Court. Mr. De Horst appealed the decision of Judge Chambers. The lawyer says it is a specific performance order for the matter, specific document. There's no other way that the matter can be resolved and is in the possession of Mr. De Horst. And the judge says, yes, all right, now Mr. De Horst, you appreciate your situation. The order was made on the 21st December by Your Honour Judge Kennedy for your committal to prison unless by 4th of January you produced at the Land Titles Office in Midland this duplicate certificate of title, that 1388 folio 326. That order was served on you on the 28th of December 1995 as appears from the file, and you have not complied with it. Do you agree with that summary of events? Mr. De Horst says, yes, Your Honour. Why haven't you complied with it? The judge asked. I've been instructed, Mr. De Horst says, I've been instructed by Mr. Peter Kyle not to surrender the title. Who was he, a lawyer?
And other lawyers.
A lawyer told him, Mr. Peter Kyle, not to surrender the title. I have been instructed by Mr. O'Sullivan now, Judge O'Sullivan, who was then...
He was a QC barrister.
I have been, this is Mr. Horst in the court to Judge Sadler, I have been instructed by Mr. O'Sullivan, now Judge Sullivan, who was then my barrister. And he told Mr. De Horst, Peter Kyle was instructed him, a lawyer, not to surrender the title, and he was instructed by Mr. O'Sullivan, who was a barrister, now Judge Sullivan. Is he currently a judge? The district court or another court?
District court.
He was instructed by that lawyer, who's now a judge, I did not have to surrender any title, and I now hear Corsa and Corsa are going to appeal to the Supreme Court, Your Honour. And the Judge Sattler said, yes, I'm not concerned with all that. You were ordered by this court to do something, you have not done it. But two of his lawyers, one of who is now a judge, told him not to surrender the title.
Advised.
Well, advised, took your money and advised you.
Yeah.
Now, where the hell were they?
They've all let me down.
Yeah, they all left you, took your money and left you to rot.
Yeah, I've been let down by the system.
No, you've been let down by specific identifiable people. That's what you've been let down by.
And in the contract...
You don't blame the system. It's people you identify that do this to other people.
In the
contract
it states black and white, I must give them the title when the building is completed, but the building must conform with planning approval, which it doesn't, and it must conform with the strata plan and the height restriction, which it doesn't.
Yeah, that's right.
End of story.
It didn't conform.
It's all illegal. The building is illegal.
The building is illegal, absolutely. judge says, I'm not concerned with that. He's not concerned with the fact that two of his lawyers told him not to surrender the title. You were ordered by this court to do something. Yes, but I take instructions from my lawyer, Your Honour, Mr. Horst said. The Judge Sattler, if those indeed were the advices given by you, to you by your lawyers, they are putting you in considerable jeopardy.
They have.
Well, they did, but so did these judges. Yes, Your Honour, but Mr. Kyle. And then the judge bullied him and said, just be quiet for a moment. And Mr. Horst said, I'm sorry, Your Honour. And then the judge says, it is not a question of listening to your lawyers. You see, these judges are like dictators, aren't they? And Mr. Horst says, I'm a little bit deaf, Your Honour. I'm sorry. Judge Sattler, it is not a question of listening to your lawyers in the face of the orders of the court. The orders of the court are to be complied with. Yes, Your Honour. You do not comply with them. You're coming in here telling me that your lawyers have said something to you is no excuse whatsoever. This judge is cruel, absolutely cruel.
Incompetence.
No, it's cruelty. That's what it is. It's cruelty. And Mr. Horst says, right, Your Honour, but there were orders for both parties. Judge Sattler, I am not concerned with that. Mr. Horst, and neither party has complied with the orders, Your Honour. Judge Sattler, I am concerned with your non-compliance. What a bully. Judge Horst, yes, Your Honour. Sattler, Judge Sattler, do you realise your situation? You are going to be sent to prison. Mr. Horst, I want you to send me to prison, Your Honour, because the media has been involved. There has been a miscarriage of justice. Yes, all right, Judge says. Mr. Horst, and says, I will go on fighting until I get justice. I mean, I have been denied justice, Your Honour. And Judge Sattler, yes, just be quiet, will you? To Horst, thank you, Your Honour. And Judge Sattler, you appreciate his apparent attitude, Mr. McCormack. It looks as though he is grandstanding to me. In other words, if he goes to prison, he is going to stay there and apparently adopt a recalcitrant attitude. Judge Sattler, you see, that's why I'm saying that quite apart from the question of punishment for contempt, there is the matter of the practicality of getting on with events. The opportunity has been given to this man to behave as he has been doing, and prison, it seems, is something he wants for his own advancement in a particular way. I think you should have a look at the alternatives if there is another method of doing this without the duplicate certificate. And the prosecuting lawyer says, yes, I'm happy to do as Your Honour suggests. I can't advance that position, unfortunately, due to the limited time. Judge Sattler, yes, I appreciate you. You can't do that. Now, it's clear the way that this judge treated Mr. Horst is disgusting. When the government was at fault to begin with.
Yeah, but see, my argument is this case should have never have proceeded because I had no lawyer. I should have had a lawyer there.
Yeah.
And the judge should have complied with legal aid or offered me legal aid or whatever.
You didn't have any defendant
I was
lawyer.
there by myself.
He was there by himself. And Jake Horst appeared in person.
And I've been bulldozed.
Yeah,
by
and the
the
lawyers
system.
that you paid for, where were they?
Gone.
And how much money had you paid to these lawyers at this point?
I don't know, maybe 200,000, 100,000, I can't remember. But a total 300,000 over the last 25
paid for
years.
lawyers over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And up to this point you'd paid probably about $100,000 in law fees.
Yeah.
And they weren't even in the court. The day that he was sent to prison, incarcerated, they weren't even in the court with him. That's how criminal they are.
The lawyers let me down.
And the lawyers who let you down, this judge bullied you without any legal representation. And how criminal is it to pay lawyers and they're not even there, not even present when the man is being sent to jail? I just want to finish this bit here. So we've got 4 judges involved so far. And then Judge Sattler says, I don't want any political speeches or grandstanding. That's what he said to Mr. Horst, who's there on his own with no witness either. No witness, no. Mr. Horst, no, I'm not a politician, Your Honour. There has been a miscarriage of justice, Your Honour, because an Act of Parliament has been ignored. That's the Strata Titles Act.
Statute law.
Strata Titles Act.
Statute law.
And then the Judge Sattler says, yes, I don't want all that. Just explain to me. Mr. Horst says, Your Honour, if I'm in contempt of court, then the court is in contempt of an Act of Parliament, which is true.
Right.
The Strata Titles Act.
That's right.
And then he said, sit down, please. Bearing in mind that he's there on his own and having paid $100,000 to lawyers and they're not even there. And Mr. Horst says, thank you, Your Honour. And then Judge Sattler, you are committed to prison. Thank you, Your Honour, Mr. Horst says. Judge Sattler, will you be quiet until further order of this court or until you produce or cause to be produced to the court the duplicate certificate of title volume 1388 folio 326. That is the order that I make. And the prosecuting lawyer says, Your Honour, before your court rises, there is an outstanding question of costs through to date.
Money.
Yeah. Could I ask that an order for costs commencing with appearance before Judge Gunning on the 19th of December 1994, the appearance before Judge Kennedy on the 21st of December 1994, the appearance before Judge Clark on the 5th of January 1995, and with the plaintiffs to be paid by the defendant, if it pleases Your Honour. Yes, have you anything to say about costs? Mr. Horst, I will leave that up to my lawyers, Your Honour. Corser and Corser are handling my case from now on. They are going to appeal to the Supreme Court. But they weren't in this hearing, no? No, they weren't there.
No,
And Judge Sattler, yes, well, we will pay those costs in the terms stated by Mr. McCormick. These judges, all they do is send people to jail. They don't even follow the statutory acts of Parliament. They don't even protect people's statutory human rights and acts enforced that protect citizens' rights. They've been sending the Aboriginal people to jail for 200 years. They send people to jail and they steal their money. So they're good at that, sending people to jail and ordering costs as well, economic costs against the person that they've jailed. How cruel is that?
There's one
Cruelty.
There's one statement I like to add to this. I was supposed to be paid in 4 instalments for the land. I've only received 3 instalments. The 44,000, the last instalment, was never paid to me. It was paid to those lawyers on behalf of Mr. Eilert. All Mr. Eilert's lawyers were paid $44,000, which was the balance, was supposed to be paid to me.
So
I never got paid in
you sold
full.
him that land, he didn't even pay you properly for it.
No,
It was given to his
44,000.
lawyers. Then the government allows him to build a building against their own judgment, because the building specifications said on the sale of the land and the building of the building to be a height restriction, so it wouldn't block your view. So
And
not
a flat roof.
Yeah, and a flat roof. There's a flat roof there, but there's
Yeah, that's the only condition I got, the flat roof.
yeah, but
Not the height
your view
restriction.
is blocked.
Yes.
So the point is, the government was in favour of Mr. Horst with the height restriction. Then they went back on that and allowed this builder.
And then they gave him a new strata plan with a different height restriction.
Yeah, and then they did not. You didn't even get your money for the property sale. You didn't even get all your money for the property
I had
sale.
to pay all my lawyers, and then I had to pay Eilert lawyers as well.
And he didn't even get the money for the sale of the land, all the money. Now, the most criminal part of this, in my view, is that why they jailed you, they illegally transferred the duplicate title.
There was no need to jail me because they could have done that without jailing me.
They could have done this without jailing him, but what's so criminal about this? Here's this transfer.
And those transfer state, I consent.
That's right.
I was in jail.
He was in jail. So the 13th of January was the date of 1995 was the date of jailing, and this document is dated the 14th day of February of 1995. Do you want to say something?
No,
Oh, he just wants us to see his shirt.
it is a job.
Whistleblower.
I'm going to turn around.
Okay, turn around. Okay, that's right. Fake titles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Did you want to talk about that document a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Did you want to talk about that document?
Yes, this is all the signage on my house. A lot of them have been removed.
What paper is that in?
I think it would have been in I think it was in the Fremantle Herald.
Okay.
Or the West Australian. I think it was Fremantle Herald, I think, from memory. This is how the house used to look. I don't know whether you want to take that on.
Okay, I'm just going to show everybody, just showing the public all the paperwork you've got and you know, build up over the last 25 years. Do a bit of it. This is Mr. Horst's office, and he's got all these files from his case. Enormous amount of paperwork, just in addition to all the documents we went through. Was just a small amount of the documents, but some the critical documents were on the table you saw below downstairs. And these are the files with additional documents here related to Mr. Horst. What they've done over 25 years. All of these files have documents related to what they have done to Mr. Horst. That file there is about the Triple C. Fremantle Council Inquiry, 1988 to 2000.
Could you stop there for a minute?
Yeah. Okay, there's a history file there. Mr. Horst just wanted to edit that one.
And
those three first files are all about the Fremantle Council Inquiry.
Those are all the law books.
These are all the law books Mr.
All about
Horst.
property
Law that he referred to. You should have been a lawyer, judge, a barrister.
Local Government Act.
There we go. So this is all the legislation that Mr. Horst is
Strata Titles Act.
familiar with. Okay, the Strata Titles Act of 1985. I don't think it says you can send anyone to prison under the Strata Titles Act of 1985. Criminal thing is that they're trying to steal this property now. It's trying to steal your own property and make you homeless. Yeah, that's all paperwork here, and where he works. He's got his documents out here.
Right. You got enough lights?
Yep.
Those are all the videos of
television?
Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 2, Channel 10.
Broadcasts about your
all about
experience.
The case, yes.
Yep. So, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10.
Yeah, all the stations, all the television stations.
And that's the broadcasts about over the last 25 years. He's got them on video there, so
that's right.
we may have to make a documentary about you one day. A film. One man's fight for freedom and democracy for the citizens of Australia. How about that?
Well, we're talking about the Aboriginal land rights. I'm not a racist, you know. I'm sure they're entitled to land rights.
Yeah.
But I'm a white person.
Yeah.
I have no land rights.
Yeah.
My wife has no land rights.
Yeah.
It's all been taken away from me.
Do you want to say something about to your wife and your son? Because I know you have a son. And
well, I haven't seen my son for 25 years, I think.
Yeah.
Which is very sad. He's the only son I have.
Yeah.
I love him dearly, but there's not much I can do about it. We separated.
Because your son maybe didn't understand what you were going through, maybe?
I don't think he fully understands what has happened here.
Yeah.
But
you hope,
I can't force him to.
Do you hope for a reconciliation?
I do, yes, but I can't force
and
anybody to do it.
And what about your wife?
Well, we live our separate lives.
You're still legally married, though?
We're still legally married.
And you hope for a reconciliation?
You
want her to know that we're filming and what you've been through and your son?
Yes, I'm disappointed that it all happened. You know, it should have never happened, because when you marry somebody, you marry someone for the good and the bad times. You know, you're supposed to stick together, but you know,
For life.
yes.
My parents did that.
That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
And it's very sad. There are, because of the corruption in this state, there are so many family breakups.
Yes, that's true. It is.
And the state of WA has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
You know, for taking my property, for putting me in jail, for destroying my family, separating my family.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't wish this to happen to anybody.
That's right.
And shall fight this till the day I die.
And the fact is, the politicians, the laws that they create in the parliament, they are responsible for the destruction of families. They are responsible for the destruction of the government taking children from their parents. That is a very big sin against the political sin and judicial sin against families, that they're causing this. They are causing it. Yeah. So.
Just to finish it off, all I got to say to all those corrupt officials that have destroyed my life and family, shame, shame, shame.
Yeah.
Shame, WA.
I'm fairly certain there's coming a day of judgment, Mr. Horst, and we'll see what's going to happen.
Get a close-up of this if you could.
Advanced Australia Fair. Australia, a first world country, a land of justice and fair go for all. And think again, because there is nothing fair about Australia, the way it is governed or its justice system is administered. Not if your name is Pensioner Jan to Horst. Revealed here are incompetence, corruption and cover-up on a scale comparable only to the most repressive dictatorial regimes in the third world. Vindicated by no less than 4 official inquiries, and yet after 23 years, or 25 years now, still a victim without justice. Read Jan to Horst's own account of Perth's very own dark underbelly. Support whistleblowers because you could be next. Enough is enough.
Got my t-shirt?
Got your t-shirt, mate. There we go.
We have the chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. We've got to make ends meet before we get much older.
Yeah, I'm here filming